ходе второго международного научного конгресса «Иностранная филология. Социальная и национальная вариативность языка и литературы» в Институте иностранной филологии прошли мастер-классы Karen Hewitt, профессора Оксфордского университета, кавалера Ордена Британской империи, почетного профессора Пермского государственного университета. В ходе лекций профессор Хьюитт ознакомил студентов с библейскими мотивами творчества Джона Мильтона, особенностями современной англоязычной поэзии и провела экскурс в историю Британской империи. В ходе семинаров студенты обсуждали проблематику прочитанных ранее произведений современных британских авторов, а на встрече клуба English Speaking Club смогли задать вопросы об актуальных для Британии и британцев проблемах. После встречи профессор Хьюитт ответила на вопросы корреспондентов проекта Augment Your Reality.
So, Ms. Hewitt, thank you so much for coming here and hosting this wonderful event, the English Speaking Club. We'd just like to ask you a couple of questions, and the first one is what brought you here in a way? What made you go into this, go in this direction, go into doing what you do?
I've always loved Russian literature, and I have the advantage of being able to talk about Russian literature to grown-ups, to adult students in Oxford. And one year they said to me, wouldn't it be a good idea to go to Russia to see where Tolstoy lived and Dostoevsky lived? And I said, yes, but it's probably a little bit difficult, but somehow we did it. And almost as soon as we arrived, I understood that there were many, many, many people in Russia who spoke good English, who were very interested in English literature, and I thought, well, why aren't they being taught more? And because my job was to teach, not just in Oxford, but in the towns and villages around, I thought of my area of teaching as Oxfordshire, Berkshire and Buckinghamshire. And I thought, well, what I can do is to add Russia to that. Why not? Because it will be a wonderful opportunity for me to go and see this vast country and to talk about literature. Both things I like.
Mm-hmm. Would you have any words of inspiration or sort of passing advice maybe for the students that will be watching this later? Sort of, what sort of thoughts would you like to inspire into them?
As far as literature is concerned, I'd like to inspire into them the sense that this is a pleasure which goes on, and that it goes on more and more you read, and that you should go back and reread things. I often find that people say, well, I read that and I didn't quite understand it, but going back and rereading can be so exciting because you suddenly realise what you didn't realise when you first read it. Of course you can't do that all the time, but that is one of the pleasures which I get and which I hope to get over to people. And then again, the other thing which I feel is that it's an opportunity for people from Russia to ask questions and to find out what's going on in other places. It's much less true than it used to be, but it used to be that there were a whole lot of stereotypes of the British, which were the ways in which Russians were told about what our country was like. And when I came, I couldn't believe that they were having exams on stereotypes. You know, a stereotype by definition is a ludicrous simplification and often plain wrong. So I found, well, at least you can talk to me and I'll try to give you some ideas. You don't have to believe me, and what's more, there are lots and lots of other people, but this is one of the ways of breaking down stereotypes and finding out how interesting and surprising connections and differences are.
Thank you so much, and we hope that we get to experience this lovely event once again in the future, and hopefully many, many more times.
Thank you very much. Real pleasure it's been.